Anti-Wall Street protesters in the U.S. are now trying to paralyze West Coast ports, but while they fight for their cause on one side of the country, on the other, riot police are arresting demonstrators in New York. RT's Gane Chichikian has the latest.
Almost 24 people were arrested in New York during what looked like a very peaceful demonstration. We're also getting reports that members of the Occupy Wall Street media team there have been arrested. They were providing a live stream of the protest on the internet. So that's New York. Occupiers have marched there in solidarity with their fellow protesters on the West Coast, where thousands are taking on ports from California to Alaska to disrupt what they describe as an economic machine that benefits the wealthiest individuals and corporations. This has been the message of the whole Occupy movement, which started 3 months ago. The protesters are marching on ports in San Diego, Los Angeles, Oakland, Portland, Seattle, Tacoma, Anchorage, that's in Alaska. This should give you a sense of the scale of the action there. We're getting reports that the protesters have shut down several terminals in Portland and LA. The port in Oakland has also been shut down. We're also keeping a close eye on the police reaction there. Arrests have begun in San Francisco. 3 people so far. Police officers in riot gear are on the move in Oakland. So a lot going on the West Coast right now. We might see a lot more arrests coming up, and maybe even a brutal crackdown on protesters with the use of tear gas, rubber bullets, something that we have seen in the past. So far, authorities have been quite successful in cracking down on these peaceful protesters across the United States, dismantling their camps, evicting the demonstrators. Around 5,000 peaceful protesters have been arrested in the last 3 months. Those arrests don't even make it to the headlines anymore. They've become something like business as usual. Dozens of demonstrators get arrested every week. Just over this weekend, 55 people were arrested in San Francisco.
Journalist Felipe Messina tells RT what he thinks lies ahead for the Occupy movement.
After an incubation period with the Occupy movement, really messaging and getting the message out across the country, defying the media blackout. The corporate media, as you remember, initially the corporate media ignored the Occupy movement, Occupy Wall Street in the first weekend, and then they began ridiculing it. Then it could not be ignored. The police began cracking down in a coordinated effort across the country. And now, so what's been happening in Occupy Oakland, for example, and other across the country is occupying foreclosed homes and many other actions to make the Occupy movement very mobile. That's what I've heard from many of the Occupy movement representatives across the country, that they've sought to make it mobile. As you also know, the Occupy movement also spread out to the college campuses as students are facing fee hikes and they're saddled with debt. So it's branching out. The ability for the Occupy movement to maintain its mobility and its momentum will be really the question.
If you want to stay up to date on the rallies on the East Coast, our correspondent Lucy Kafanov is posting her live updates on her Twitter feed as events occur. She's reporting the police are arresting protesters en masse in New York. You can follow her updates at Lucy Kafanov on Twitter.